Hello, we meet again. Today we're going to cover a case that I've been following for a little while, but it's been getting bigger or worse, shall we say, and it's showing up more in the media. Anyhow, I was going to do this a couple of months ago, but I got more updates and it's popular. It's the death of Anna Kepner. This is pretty lady right here. She is a straight A student, cheerleader, top of the world, goes on a cruise with her family-in-law. Her father married again into this family of people who probably did some too much inbreeding or something. But anyhow, their 14-year-old has some issues and had been known to perv on her. It was her brother-in-law. And of course, according to his family, he's the sweetest boy in the world, wouldn't harm a fly. According to her and her friends, he's a creep. He's been sexually harassing her, doesn't know his boundaries, 14 years old, ooh. Anywho, she gets killed in her cabin while on a carnival cruise with this wonderful family. She shared a room, a small cabin with the kid. You got to be effing crazy. A 14-year-old boy with, I believe, an 18-year-old girl at the time. 18, yeah, I think she was 18. Okay, not good. Just family, but okay, but still not good. Two, he's the perv, and perv's on her. I bet that made her feel really good. I got to share a room with the perv boy. Anyhow, they show up to breakfast one morning. Perv boy shows up. The rest of the family shows up. They were in other cabins right nearby. But no show of Anna. People going, well, where's Anna? Did she oversleep? Party too much last night? Don't know. We're not sure where Anna is. Her boy, I don't know. I haven't seen her. I have no clue. And then comes an announcement over the PA system, the whole public PA system on Carnival, for emergency services to attend to whatever room she had on the cabin, because cleaning services found her naked body shoved underneath the bed and tried to be concealed by life jackets. Now, the father, who for some unknown reason in the media is claiming he found her, he did nothing of the sort. They were having breakfast with Bird Boy when the announcement came over the whole ship. Emergency services needed in her cabin. And so father shows up and actually pulls her body out from underneath the bed, which is disturbing a crime scene. But I understand, father, it's your baby daughter who you let sleep with perv boy from your wife, new wife, your third wife in a very short period of time wife. Again, from the wife family seems to be but anywho, of course, the child, the 14-year-old boy, is supposed to have some medical issues like insomnia. Oh, that's going to make him a murderer. That's going to be responsible for making him a murderer. And ADD, which also makes you, medicines for that makes you a murderer. Who else wants to, well, he didn't only kill her by strangulation, by the way. He had his way with her first. Yes. Little perv boy. Well, I know. YouTube doesn't like the R word, so I will substitute it with a G and call it, yes, little perv boy graped her first before killing her. Nice 14-year-old. Nice. Keep it in the family. Fucker. Anyhow, he's pleading Innocent. I know nothing about it. Not a clue. I don't have any memory of that night. Why, that's such a popular statement for people who get in trouble with the law after killing somebody. There's another case with someone else, the lady who crashed her car and killed the patient or killed the passengers intentionally, and probably meant to kill herself too, but failed at doing that, but killed the other ones. But anyhow, she suddenly has, I have no memory of the whole night. Right. But anyhow, these two, again, like I said, it was Perv Boy and Anna shared the same cabin. Okay. The younger brother-in-law to her and his younger brother heard commotion in the cabin that night. Couldn't get in because the door was locked from the inside. Went to the parents to say, hey, I think there's something going on in Anna's room. And they're like, whatever, sounds like an argument. Might want to go take a look. Kids argue, they're teens, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. It sounds pretty nasty. She doesn't sound like she's having fun. It sounds pretty serious. Don't worry about it. They're getting along fine. Kids will be kids. Well, now this is also nice. I want to include this. This is a nice little letter Carnival wrote out the following morning for everyone still on the cruise. Because the cruise, this murder happened at sea, which is something we'll come to in a minute. But slips this nice little note under the door of all the cabins saying, hey, be nice to each other. There was a little medical issue yesterday, and take care of yourself, and everything's good. And we're sweet, we're good. Nice of them. Nice paperwork, letterhead, and the whole 9 yards. Dear passengers, you can look it up and you can find it online and read it for yourself. Very corporate letter over someone being murdered on their ship. Anyways, the two of them were in the room that evening. Closed circuit TV shows the hallway, shows her going in at one time, shows him going in at another time. Same room. Doesn't show anyone else except for it does show the brother coming over, and then going back his way. No one exited the room that whole night. No one entered the room that whole night. The only time any activity out of that room happened was in the morning when Perv Boy went to go have breakfast. He spent the night in there. He went to sleep. Or stayed up all night doing things we don't even want to talk about. Sick motherfucker. Anyhow, again, he's pleading not guilty and has a whole list, well, not a whole list, he has a list of several medications that he was on. Although he didn't take 2 of his ADD medicines because one night mom fell asleep on the cruise ship, so didn't give it to him. And the second night, he fell asleep, so mom couldn't give it to him consecutively. But of course, that's going to turn him into a raving, graping murderer. But he is accused of her death, so I don't have to say allegedly. There's nothing alleged about it. He's been accused of it. It means the cops say, we think he did it. So he can say, I don't have to say allegedly. He is charged with her murder. Now, of course, since then, and when the ship came back to Florida, he was, of course, arrested. Because, looks pretty, pretty clean, clear who did it. Unless, there's some magic that happened. And no, they do not have a porthole view of they were in an inner cabin inside the ship, so they have no clue whether it's day or night, other than, well, no, they don't, other than a clock. But, I just thought, where was I going? He's been in custody. Well, no, he hasn't been in custody. Because he was 14 at the time. He's such a pretty little boy. He's only 14 years old. He was allowed to stay with his grandmother. Because he's a 14-year-old little boy who raped and murdered his sister-in-law. And in the interim time, when they did try to serve, him and or his mom or do affidavits for courts, they would, go to the house and there's a car in the driveway with the engine running. But they'd knock on the door and no one would answer. No one would answer. They're a little concerned, but, knocking on the door, car in the driveway's engine running. But whatever. So, they left, probably went, got a coffee and a donut, whatever. Came back to knock on the door again, and the truck's gone. And of course, no one knocks on the door. It's unclear whether he's been with his grandma or whether he's been with someone else or someone else or someone else. They have a hard time tracking who he's with at the time. So they're doing a game of, shuffle. Find the object under the coconuts. Find the murderous kid under the... So that doesn't look so good. The evidence against him, well, he was the only one in the room. The door was locked from the inside. I mean, the cleaning people can get in because they have the pass key, but, obviously, only one in the room. No one came, no one went. No porthole. No hatch. Hatch above between decks. Yeah, hatch shows between decks. Should know that. Time. Bulkhead. Hatch. Bulkhead between compartments. Hatch up and down between. Below and above compartments. Anyhow, none of those. It's just a room in the middle of the ship. Of course, they found his DNA, and we won't go into detail, but obviously DNA from when he strangled her and around her neck and whatnot. And DNA found in other places. You find DNA in grape cases. So, if he knows nothing about it and claims, I don't know, and if nothing else, what the hell are you doing having sex with your sister-in-law? Anyways, again, it's kind of, hard to say you're not guilty when two people enter a room, one person leaves, and the other one's dead. But we'll get to. I mean, he's not in jail. He's not been spending time in jail because he's a sweet little baby, and no one knows where he's at, even though he's supposed to be, keeping track of where he's at because of the court cases and whatnot. But no one's doing that. They can't find him half the time. Now, another complication to this whole thing is maritime law. And this is where, hang on a minute. The ship left the port in the United States. So the United States has a claim on jurisdiction over this incident. She was also a U.S. citizen, which puts it into, some potential U.S. custody. Problem is Carnival Cruise has that ship listed under a Panamanian flag. So it is registered and essentially owned by Panama, or registered through Panama. So that gives Panama a claim in this murder case. And to make things all that much better, it was in Cuban waters, not international waters. They were in Cuban territory waters. So Cuba has potentially a claim into this murder case. But since the ship did come back to Florida, the FBI was on the scene for this one. And yes, it'd be FBI, not CIA. This situation would be FBI, not local police, because there weren't any local police for it. So it's, has to be the FBI running this one. CIA, not allowed on the United States ground. They're supposed to be out protecting America on the shores and inside the shores. That's the FBI, supposedly. But anyhow, that could be a whole nightmare. But right now it looks like, they're not saying anything yet about jurisdiction. So U.S. courts are going ahead with U.S. court matter. They just had a hearing. This is why this is now in the news. Is they had another hearing. It's been, time has passed, and they want to press, they're pressing charges on this guy officially because they have the whole list of evidence on him. We got a witness outside the door saying there was commotion going on. We've got his DNA places where it shouldn't be, and he was in the room with a dead woman. The only one in the room with a dead woman, which he has no knowledge of and slept through the night or whatever before coming out to breakfast. Anyhow, prosecution wants this little pervert locked up until court time, until they actually go to court, go to trial. And guess what the judge does? Now, if this doesn't piss you off, judge goes, but he's such a sweet little boy. Yes, Q Warren Zevon here. Play that in the background. I'd get a copyright strike if I did that, but, just a misunderstood little boy. Warren Zevon. Doesn't want him to spend time in jail. They are trying him as an adult. They're trying him as if he was 18 or over. So he's got life imprisonment possibility, which of course they're arguing over, life imprisonment without parole or life with possibility of parole. They're doing everything in the world they can to come up with excuses and reasons and everything for this poor little boy. And nobody's showing much consideration for this wonderful young lady who was killed by the poor little boy on the Carnival ship in Cuban waters, owned by Panama, but under a U.S. flag where they ported, no, under a Panamanian flag because they're the ones registered to it, but in Cuban waters, but came and left from U.S. shores. Maritime law is fun. Anywho, we don't know what the outcome of this is going to be in the trial, but one reason I really wanted to get this out is I just could not believe that, one, first off, that he was allowed to run around with, grandma, and then they could never find him for checks or whatever, and the court knows it, but they still let him run around when they did find him. And then two, they're trying him as an adult. He's, accusation. They're going to, run his ass up the pole as an adult. And as an adult, he's got every right in the world to be thrown in jail. Not prison. Prison is after your, jail for now, prison after your sentence, assuming it warrants a prison sentence, and killing your sister-in-law because you're a perv, put you in prison. But that judge, it's not Judge Beverly from Massachusetts, thank God. I don't know the judge's name, but boy has rights. Well, wait a minute, you're charging him as a man, so boy has rights. He can leave. Not going to be arrested. Oh, I mean, not going to be thrown in jail. He just has to, we have to keep an eye on him where he's at, and have, but other than that, he's free to go. So he's not spending any time in jail waiting for his trial, as he should, since he's being tried as an adult. But anyhow, this is another case that's just, I don't know what the hell's going on with the law in America. With the Karen Reed situation, where the judge allows evidence coming in that has no trace as to where it came, when it came, etc. Allows falsification of evidence that came up in court allowed. Then you have judges denying Kelsey Fitzsimmons her privilege after she was in the hospital for 19 weeks for getting shot because of her brother-in-law, or not brother-in-law, and her husband-to-be. But because of the accusations he made, they locked her up and, put her in jail and had her go to detox and when she did get out of jail because she couldn't blow into the portable alcohol tester because, she has injuries to her lungs from where the bullet went through. They threw her back in jail, saying that, well, she can't pass the test and she can't be out on her own. But you got that judge, then you got Judge Beverly with the whole Karen Reed stuff, and now we got this dude. Oh, this is Florida. The other two are Massachusetts. But now we got this judge. He can go. I mean, they're still prosecuting him for the death. The police, the district attorney or ADA, the cops, well, the FBI, are going after his ass for murder. So, not alleged. They filed charges, so alleged is out of the picture. You don't have to say it. YouTube. But and of course, as I said, the family of the brother-in-law, the inbred folks, apparently, or something. They're, circling the wagons and claiming they have nothing to do with it, and it wasn't their sweet little boy. And her father, her biological father, who married the inbreds, he seems to be taking the side of the inbreds. His daughter. It's biologically, not by marriage. This is his daughter. He's the father of this daughter. Yeah. Gotta protect the rights of the boy. And it's not his boy. The boy came with the inbreds. What about Anna? Oh, well. Keep an eye out for it in the news. Anna Kepner. Think of it, you hear about with Carnival Cruise, Anna Kepner, and I'm not mentioning his name, not because he's 14 years old or under 18, because he's being tried as an adult. We can't call his name. It's actually Timothy Hudson, not Hutton. That's Timothy Hutton's that's an actor. This is Timothy Hudson. Yes, different last names because, yes, she was daughter of the father and he's part of the inbreds. But anyhow, that's it for this one. Well, I mean, for right now, I mean to piss you off, but again, what the hell's going on in our courts? I don't know. We've got a lot of judges that got some explaining to do. Anyhow, Sabos. There's a button, Frank, and we're out.